Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Piper Super Cub over here in X-Plane 12. A much smarter person than I once said that if you can fly a Piper Cub and land it safely, you can probably fly anything. And I actually completely agree with that sentiment. The only thing I don't like about this particular version of the Piper, of course, is the fact that it's got the Tundra tires on it. Kind of irritating. There's also a lot of extra drag, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to have some fun. Let's get flying. So first things first, we're going to get this thing started, and one of the things I love is they really took the time to do a lot of good details. For example, I can open that door like that, I can close that door like that, I can actually come over here and open this little door here like that, and it's just kind of sitting there. Remember that sitting there for a second here, you'll see why. So let's get it started. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the mixture, I'm going to go ahead and push that in, I'm going to check to make sure my fuel's on both, which it is. I'm going to come up above my head and pop on the beacon real quick, there's no power. And now we're going to prime. The trick to priming is listening. Just listen. Did you notice that kind of like breathing sound that it makes when it primes? You want to get as much of that as you can, and then when you push it in, you want to jam it in as fast as you can. That's kind of important. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this to the both for my magnetos. One of the things you would normally do is you turn the propeller a couple times by hand before you start it, but that's okay for us. Once that's taken care of, we're going to go ahead and pop on the master switch. And now we're basically going to yell out this lovely door, clear prop. Now, in the old days, you had to go out there and crank this thing. Today, I have an electric starter. I can push a button. Now, if we primed this well, and again, after you prime, you want to let it sit for a few moments for basically the gas to kind of turn into a vapor. It's going to work great. Ready? That's fantastic. That's what I call a well-primed engine. Gosh, that thing started right away. Nice. Get 1,000 RPM. All right. Now, do you notice the doors? Isn't that fantastic? They actually modeled that correctly. I love that. All right. Bacon is on. Avionics is on. Master. Believe it or not, we do have a transponder on board, which makes our lives much, much simpler here. I'll pop that to the out position. 1200 is fine. We could talk on the radio if we needed to. Now, if this were the real world, there's a lot of little things we'd have to do here. One thing we'd have to do, which would be very important, is we'd have to let everything warm up. Because right now, you can see here, we're pretty cold. The cylinder is way under 75 degrees. And of course, coming over on this side, oil pressure it's coming up. It'd actually be a lot higher than that, given how cold it is today. And again, I'm surprised the oil temperature is only 45. I'd expect it to be quite a bit warmer. The other thing we have to fix is the fact that our gyro is not pointing anywhere near where we're supposed to be going. So I'm going to press the D key on my keyboard, and that's going to go ahead and reset our heading indicator to make sure that's correct. That's all set. That's all set. I'm not going to fiddle with trim or cabin heat or anything. We'll need to come back to this a little later on, but that's a problem for later. And I love the little button and the fact it's a little stick. Now, this is a fun plane. It is a fabulously fun plane. Let me show you another fun trick. Watch this. 1 flap, 2 flap, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. It actually uses a little Johnson bar on the floor for the purposes of flapping. And that's just awesome. Now, we're on grass here, so we want to be a little extra careful as far as taxiing around goes. And now the reason I say that, of course, is we want to use as much of this runway as we can, but we also don't want to go hard with the propeller blade right now because it's going to suck little pieces of like dirt and gravel into itself, even though, as you can see, we have quite a bit of distance there. It's a little bit nicer than like a 1852 or something like that. All right, parking brake released. We're just going to go ahead and pull the stick back just a little bit, give it a tap of power, and this thing is going to start rolling. And we're just going to go ahead and back that power up. We just need to keep the plane rolling. That's all that needs to be done here. Now, in the real world, of course, we're going to be using a lot of differential braking on this aircraft. This is going to be worse than the Cirrus as far as trying to keep it in a straight line. The key thing here is just taxi slow, and you're never going to have a problem with this plane. It's going to bounce, it's going to shimmy, it's going to jerk, it's going to do everything. That's cool. We don't mind those things at all. The only thing we really mind is making sure we have positive control at all times. As always, if we had a wind, which our wind today is so insignificant, I wouldn't really worry about it. You want to make sure that that stick is pointing towards that wind. That's really, really critical for us. Give it a little tap of power, and now we'll start making our way over to the runway. And that's looking real good. That's looking real nice now. All right, let's go pop onto the runway here. And again, just a little bit of differential braking is all you need. I do not have differential braking, and that's unfortunate, but X-Plane 12 is smart enough to make that a feature. So if you kick the pedal hard enough, I can actually look down. You can see it pushing the brake pedal. I guess I can't do it. Yeah, there we go. See how it pushes the pedal? It's actually engaging the brake on that side as I turn. You just have to be gentle with it. All right, let's talk takeoff. This thing is an interesting airplane to take off. One of the things that it can do, which I think is really fun, is we can actually apply full power, lift the tail off the ground, and then go. there's an interesting advantage to that. And that, of course, is the fact that when we're taking off, we're going to have rudder control down the runway. Now, what makes this plane kind of tricky is the fact that we've got that little nose wheel back there, and which is not, it's a steering wheel. And the problem with that, though, is do you see how I can steer it as I'm on the ground here? That means the moment this plane leaps into the air, it's no longer going to be providing us any lateral stability. That's going to give us some interesting problems. So one of the tricks here for takeoff, if you want to make it a little easier the first time, take the stick and pull it back towards you a little bit. And not only that, but go ahead and put in one click of flaps before you get too carried away here. It's just going to make it go a little bit smoother. All right, let's do it. Pull the stick towards us. Full power. Just gentle, gentle. The plane's going to suddenly take off. I did say the plane would just suddenly take off, right? About 50 miles per hour. And that's good to me. I'm going to push the nose over. Bring up that click of flaps. The thing's going to get a little sinky. Now, this plane climbs strangely. It's kind of reminds me of a helicopter, to be honest, because when you're on the way up with this plane, it basically travels in this direction. The nose is not pointing where we're actually going. It just kind of goes up, which I think is, I don't know, kind of fun, sort of a thing like that. Another thing you have to be mindful of this plane is rudder usage. The ailerons in this thing are massive. And one of the things it will teach you is really good rudder discipline. So for example, let's say I want to take a left turn here. Now, do you observe that the ball goes flying to the left there? And if I take a right turn, you can observe the ball goes slamming over there to the right. The reason it's doing that is because those gigantic ailerons on this thing, let me go get you one so you can see what they look like, is creating a lot of adverse yaw, which means any maneuver you do, unlike some faster planes, or especially jets and stuff like that, you have to respond in kind by applying rudder in that direction. So for example, just going in a straight line here, let me go and reduce the power, we don't need to be going this hard. To about 2400, perfect. So let's say I'm going in a straight line here. You'll notice that I have to actually play with the rudder to center up the ball in the bottom left corner of my screen here. The other thing you'll observe is the fact that a straight line for this thing is slightly nose down attitude. It's not unusual for planes like this. Let's go ahead and get that all set. All right, that looks good to me. I'm gonna make a quick adjustment to our attitude indicator, which is the new normal. And that's the new normal for me right there. And again, center of gravity changes will cause that to be different. That's just gonna make it easier. Now let's say we want to turn. So I'm going to go ahead and push my right foot forward at the same time as pushing my right aileron forward. And you can see that ball stays nice in the middle. If I want it to go left, left aileron, left foot. It does not take much. There we go. Nice. That's a C plus, maybe B minus rudder action there. You have to kind of catch it. Now, one of the wild things with this airplane is the fact that the rudder is so effective. If I were to kick the rudder all the way, it's almost a 30-degree change in direction. That's amazing. Like, again, you're just not used to things like that. Again, why this plane is absolutely fabulous. All right, I'm all nice and leveled off. I need to give myself a little bit of right foot, even though I'm only traveling in a straight line. I think they didn't configure the rudder correctly on this thing. There should be a little bit of bias to the right so that I don't have to stand on the right foot the entire flight. But hey, part of the fun, part of the fun. Now, navigation-wise, we have a heading indicator and we have a stopwatch. We can also look out the window. Speaking of looking out the window, did you notice that it's pretty quiet in here? I'm feeling like it's too quiet. So let me see if I can do something about that. I hope you guys like the noise, because I can't hear a thing. Look at the door flap. I'll go to shut it. As you can hear, that's working very, very effectively there. Like I said, little stuff like this. Okay, so one of the things you need to be kind of mindful of this plane is its endurance. Now, if I look out my right wing there, you can see I've got plenty of fuel on board. If I look over here at my left wing, you can see I've got plenty of fuel on board. This thing will go for quite a while. You can get several hours in the air at a time with it. And one of the things I just noticed is our destination is coming up on my left here, and it's looking pretty good. This is going to be kind of a fun landing for us, especially given that. Now, letting this airplane down is a little different. Typically, what you do is you just kind of push the nose like this, and you wait for the plane to descend. Sometimes you pull the RPM back, but as you can see, this thing instantly picks up speed. Now, that's pretty typical, pretty typical. So one of the things I've found that works really, really well for this plane is if you actually give it a slip, and then you push the nose down, keep yourself about 2,500 RPM, you can basically get the plane to go down pretty aggressively without doing any kind of crazy maneuvers with it. So you can see I'm getting 120 miles per hour downwards, but I'm also getting about 1,400 feet per minute, and my RPM is not going past 2,500 RPM. Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange angle that we're traveling at here, but it always is whenever you're doing slips. Just be careful when you slip that you don't overdo it and do something with your ailerons. Speaking of that, one of the things you got to watch out for, because we're flying the Piper aggressively here, go ahead and pull that slip out and come back towards that runway, is watch what happens when this thing stalls. You have to see it to believe it. Notice how much drag this plane has? I pull the throttle back, you're doing like 20 miles an hour. Watch this, watch this, watch this. This thing is so stalled. Watch this, watch this. You could do the falling leaf with it. Look at this. Whoa, oh, oh. This is just using my feet, by the way. Whoa. Again, I'm pulling the stick all the way back, and we're doing the falling leaf here. Isn't that fantastic? And again, it's just a great little plane for stuff like that. And one of the things I also absolutely love about this plane, and it's going to help you a lot when you go to do that first really embarrassing landing with it, is the fact that when you are coming in for landing, let's say I'm getting a little slow here. Let's intentionally get slow. All right, that's pretty slow. Watch how little inertia this plane actually has. So I'm about to stall full throttle. See, it just bang, just like that. You're good to go, good to go. And again, a lot of planes, there's kind of like a hesitation, but this one, none at all. All right, let us go do our soft field landing. There's a couple different ways we can get this thing safely on the ground. Naturally, of course, we can use our two-wheel landing, which, when you're doing Tundra tires, is highly recommended. You can also, of course, do your more conventional three-pointer. I don't like a three-pointer with Tundra tires. The cabin angle is a little steep for me, but again, you do what works best for you. This is definitely a full flap landing airplane. This is definitely land into the wind airplane. This is definitely try not to let the tail touch the ground until you're ready to let the tail touch the ground kind of an airplane. And you'll see pretty much all those things. The other thing I've learned from flying it around is easy on the brakes. As a matter of fact, I'm probably not going to use any brakes because this will be a soft field landing for us. All right, that's looking pretty good. We've kind of a modified traffic pattern here. You just kind of, like I said, this is very much a seat-of-the-pants stick and rudder plane. That's what I love about it. All right, we'll go ahead and dirty the plane up a little bit. Bring up a click. I'm just going to take a look at my wing here. We're a little close. You can see the flap buffeting beautifully. That's so realistic. I don't know. I want to hear the little clinking noise that it makes, but you don't get it, but that's all right. There we go. Just drifting away. We're a little high still. There we go. That's better. All right. We're going to go ahead and apply full carburetor heat. Now, remember, the Tundra tires on this thing are the biggest irritation to landing. Although some people would say it makes it easier because there's more inertia. Humbug, I say. Humbug. Speed's about 65 miles an hour. It's pretty fast. We can go a lot slower than that. You're looking for an approach speed of around 55, so we're a little fast here. There we go. Go ahead and pop that last set of flaps. Gosh, do you need to put the left foot almost all the way down to get this thing coordinated at turn. All right, there is our lovely setup for landing. There's our 55 knots, just like I promised. Now, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to get two wheels down on the ground. As soon as two wheels get down, you want to gently push the nose forward. And when I say gently, I mean if you had toe brakes, just tap them. That's the quickest way to do it. All right, altitude's a little high. That's okay. I'm actually going to come to the left side of the field here. A little bit of a slip. I'm going to give it a little more slip or a little fast. There we go. Remember what I said? You can always add power. A little bit of slip, a little bit of slip. Going around. So when you go around with this aircraft, one of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and make sure you do not retract your flaps all the way. This plane will mush so bad you won't know what happened to you. So you want to be very, very careful with that. All right, those trees are really, really tall, so that's going to make it kind of interesting for us. So I'll go get ourselves set up for another approach. All right, this is a little bit slower. So again, you're trying to set down two wheels first. So that's level right there. Nope, nope, two wheels. All right, tap the brake. And then all you're going to do is you're just going to fly the plane with the rudder. Easy, easy. Yep, that's right. Go ahead and start pulling gentle on the stick. And when I say apply brakes gently, I mean apply brakes gently. That's it. And that is all there is to it. Now, if I rewind that real quick, let me go ahead and grab that from the side so you can get a better look at it. There we go. You'll observe when we came down, we got that nice flatness. You can see, again, coming through just a couple inches. And the goal here is as soon as you hit that ground, like I was promising, you can see how these wheels are a little bit far ahead. You can see just like that, we transition, and you can see the moment kind of the tail lifts up just a little bit. That's that little tap of brake that I was telling you about that causes you to get that nice plant, that nice confident feel. And again, with that extra bit of drag on this thing, it is no problem at all. So as you can see, this is an awesome plane. This is like one of my absolute favorite VR planes. I love tooling around in this plane. It's so much work to fly it in a straight line because of the yaw. You know, its range is limited. It's not very fast, but it's just absolutely fantastic and definitely worth your time if you've not given it a try. Enjoy.